Hello, good morning to all participants. Welcome you all for the online STTP on Bloom's Taxonomy, Higher Order Thinking Skills in Electronics and Communication Engineering. Myself is M. Praveen, Assistant Professor, EC Department, Savita Engineering College. Today is the fifth day of Module 4, so that is Network Theory. So far, we have covered all the questions from Network Theory, from GATE, TRB. So in today's session, we'll discuss the remaining questions of network theory from GATE paper. Let's move on to the session. So this is the practice question which I asked on Wednesday. So this is the exercise problem. So I given on Wednesday. So the answer, I think this is a straight question. You can able to answer the question. So the answer for the question is option C, that is a band pass filter. So we can solve the problem in three way. In first method, we can find the expressions for V naught divided by Va. That is a transfer function. So if you find V naught by Va, you will be getting the equation. So in that equation, we'll be having in terms of S. So if you replace S by J omega, then we'll be getting the equation in terms of omega. So if you substitute the value of omega from 0 to infinity, you'll be getting the graphical representation. So from the graphical representation, you can find that you can see, you can able to find the answer. That is a one method. So that method is very it will take more time to solve. So in second method, if you know the circuit of low pass and high pass filter, then you can easily straight away you can write the answer. So that is here this R and C will act as here high pass filter, and here this R and C will be act as here low pass filter. So this is a high pass filter response. I think everyone know that response of high pass filter. So here the high pass filter will allow only the high frequency. So and this is a response of low pass filter. So here if you take this diagram, the first part is the high pass filter and the second part is the low pass filter. Therefore the response, if you take the response of the high pass filter, you'll be getting like this. So this is the response of high pass filter, that is they will not allow the low frequency. Therefore it will be start from above the low frequency. And the second part is the it is a low pass filter. So if you draw the response of the low pass filter, so it will be like, it will be allowing above the response of the high pass frequency. So above FL you have the high pass filter, then for low pass filter you'll be getting the response like this. So if you cascading these two, you'll be getting the overall response of the circuit. So this is similar to the band pass filter. That is a mid range of frequency. It will be allowing the mid range of frequency. So therefore the answer is C. And third method is, if you consider the circuit in terms of DC, actually here it is given as VA, V naught. There is no indication of AC or DC. So if you consider that V naught and VA as DC means, so first we'll take what happen if omega is infinity and what happen if omega is equal to 0. So everyone know that if omega is equal to infinity means then the capacitor will be short circuited. So if you read out the diagram, then we'll be having the capacitor here short circuit and here short circuit. So therefore the overall current flowing through the output voltage is 0. So therefore V naught divided by VA is equal to 0 at omega is equal to infinity. And similarly, if you take at omega is equal to 0, okay, so if you take omega is equal to 0, then the capacitor is open circuit. So for omega is equal to infinity, the capacitor is short circuit. For omega is equal to 0, the capacitor is open circuit. So here it is open circuit. Therefore there is no current flow through the circuit here. Therefore, again V naught is equal to 0. Okay, so therefore V naught by VA is equal to 0. So therefore, from omega is equal to 0 and for omega is equal to infinity, the output is equal to 0, because this is omega is equal to 0 and this is omega is equal to infinity. So for both value, it is 0. So what happened between omega is equal to 0 and omega to infinity is just having some value. Therefore, from this we can say that the response is nothing but the band pass filter. Okay, so for omega equal to infinity and omega equal to 0, it is 0, and for other value it is going to be some value. So therefore we can straight away say that the answer for the question is band pass filters. Okay, three methods we can solve. In first method, we can find the transfer function. So from the transfer function, if you plot the value of omega, you'll be getting the graph. From the graph, we can write the answer. In second method, from the circuit onwards, we can able to write the answer. So this is a high pass filter. This one is a low pass filter. So cascading of high pass filter and low pass filter is called as a band pass filter. This is second method. In third method, we have to at omega, so we have to consider V naught and VI as in DC. So at omega is equal to 0, what will happen to the capacitor? At omega is equal to infinity, what will happen to the capacitor? And what is V naught by VI? From the response also we can able to write the answer. Okay. So this is the second exercise problem which I given on Wednesday. I think it's a very simple question. So consider the network graph shown in the figure. Which one of the following is not a tree of this graph? Okay, so this is a graph just given in the question. So we have to, there are four options are there, A, B, C, D. So which one is not a tree you have to find. I think you know what is a tree. So if you consider all the four in first one, so the only condition for the tree is the tree should not form a closed loop. Okay, that is a condition. So for a tree, that there should not be any closed loop. So if you take option A, it will be start from here to this one and from this one. So this is a possible tree. Okay, so start from here and to this one. This is the first option given. So here there is no closed loop here. Therefore, it is a proper tree. And if you take option C, so there is no closed loop starting from here and it ended with here. Therefore, there is no closed loop here. So therefore, option C is also a tree. And if you take option D, it is also a proper tree. There is no closed loop. But if you take option B, there is a closed loop here. It will be, if you start here, means it will start from here to and here. Therefore, there is a closed loop in this tree. Therefore, it is not a proper tree. So here the question they are asking, which one of the following is not a tree of this graph? So here A, B, C, D, among A, B, C, D, B is having the closed loop. Therefore, B is not a proper tree. Therefore, the answer for the question is option B. Okay, for a tree there must not be any loop. So A, C, and D don't have any loop. Only B has loop. So therefore, our option B is the correct answer for the second exercise problem. Now let's move on to the third question. In the AC network shown in the figure, the phasor voltage VAB in volt is dash. So circuit diagram is given. So we have to find what is the voltage across here VAB. Okay. So here four options are given. Option A, it is 0. Option B, it is the magnitude part as 5 and phasor value was 30. And option C, it is 12.5 and 30. And option D, it is 17 and 30. Can you guess what is the answer for the question? So the question is very simple. So here we are having two impedance part. So here we are having resistance and inductance. Here we are having resistance and capacitance. So let us consider this one as Z1 and consider this one as Z2. So first find what is the total. So find what is the total impedance. So after finding Z value, already they have given the value of I. So if you now you know I and Z, so now we have to find what is V. Can you guess what is the answer? So let's see what is the answer. Actually, the answer for the question is option D. Okay. So first we have to find the total impedance. So if you take this one as Z1 and this one as Z2. So for Z1, resistance and capacitance both are in series. So if you write impedance for this uh, branch, the impedance is Z1 is equal to 5 minus 3J. So here it is 5 minus 3J is the Z1. And for Z2, if you write for Z2, it is 5 plus 3J. So here it is series, here also it is series. Okay. Now we have to find what is the total impedance. So to total impedance nothing but here this one and this one. So both are parallel. Okay, both are parallel. Therefore, total impedance Z is equal to Z1 parallel to Z2. Okay, that is 5 minus 3J is parallel to 5 plus 3J. So now you all know what is the formula for parallel impedance. That is, so here it is Z1 Z2 means Z1 Z2 divided by Z1 plus Z2. So 5 minus 3J into 5 plus 3J whole divided by Z1 plus Z2 means 5 minus 3J plus 5 plus 3J. So here minus 3J plus 3J cancel. So denominator we have only 10. For the numerator, we have 5 minus 3J into 5 plus 3J. So this is in the form of A minus IB into A plus IB. So there is a formula for A minus IB into A plus IB, that is which is equal to A square, which is equal to A square plus B square. Okay. So here A, this is A and this is B. So A square means you will be getting 25 here, and B means 9. So if you know the formula, you can write. Otherwise, you can multiply the term. So 5 will be multiplied with 5, and 5 will multiply with 3J, and 3 minus 3J will multiply with 5, and minus 3J will multiply with 3J. So if you multiply also, you'll be getting the same answer. And finally, you're getting 25 plus 9, which is 34. So 34 divided by 10, you'll be getting 3.4. So now we got 3.4 as the impedance, and next we have to find what is the voltage across the AB. Okay, so now we got only the impedance, and already the current value is given, which is 5 as magnitude and 30 as phasor value. So we all know what is the formula VAB. So V is equal to IR. So here instead of R we have Z. So V is equal to I into impedance. So I value is given, which is 5 into the phasor value was 30, and impedance value is we found as 3.4. So just you are going to multiply this 3.4. So this 3.4 and 5, these are the magnitude value. Therefore, we are going to multiply 3.4 with 5, which is 17, and we have to keep the 30 as same. So therefore, the answer is 17 as the magnitude part and 30 as the phasor value. Okay. So the answer for the question is the option D, 17 and 30 as theta value. Let's move on to the next question. For the RL circuit shown in the figure, the input voltage Vi of t is equal to U of t, that is a step response. The current I of t is dash. So okay, they are given the circuit diagram, and we have to find which one is the correct output response, okay, for I of t. So in option A, we have time period with 2 seconds. So from 0 to 2 seconds, the response of I of t is from 0 to 0.315, and after 5 it is 0.5, it is constant. For option B, from time period of 0 to 1/2, so it starts from 0 to 0.63, and after 1 it is remain constant. And for option C, from time period 0 to 1/2, it changes from 0.30 to 0.31 and so on up to 0.5. After 0.5, it is constant. And for option D, that time period from 0 to 2 seconds, the I of t value changes from 0 to 0.63 to 1, and after 1, it is constant. So we have to find which one is the response of I of t. So the circuit is very simple. So you have only the inductance and resistance. So here VI of t is given, and you have to find I of t. You know what is the formula for I of t, and the impedance which is given here is inductance and resistance. Can you guess what is the answer? Simple problem only. So VI of t is given, and Z you can find Z from the circuit onwards. So now I of t, you know the formula for I of t. Just substitute the value of VI of t and Z. You'll be getting the I of t. Can you guess what is the answer? Yeah, let's see what is the answer. So first we have to convert all the terms from time domain to S domain. So here VA of t is given. So VA of t is given as U of t, that is a step response. So if you take a Laplace transform, okay, if you take a Laplace transform for the input voltage, so here it's a step response. So if you take a Laplace transform for VA of t, then it will become VA of S. So VA of S is equal to 1/S. So here it is constant. So therefore it is equal to 1/S. So now next we have to find what is impedance here. So here it is inductance. So for inductance, if you write inductance in S domain, it is S. So here it is 2. For resistance, the value is given 2. And for inductance, if you write in S domain, it will be S into L. So here L value is 1. Therefore, S into 1 is S. So here it is 2. So here both elements, that is inductance and resistance, both are in series. So both are in series means we have to add this to resistance and inductance. Therefore, the overall impedance is S plus 2. So S is nothing but the S domain for the inductance, so which is 1. So L is 1. Therefore, L is 1. 1 into S is S. So resistance is 2. Therefore, S plus 2. Why it is plus means we are here the both elements are series. Therefore, S plus 2 is the overall impedance. So now we all know what is the formula for the impedance. So impedance I is nothing but V by R. Instead of R, we are having Z. So VA of S divided by the Z value is S plus 2. So VA of S value is already it is 1/S. So 1/S into S plus 2. Okay. So now we have to apply the partial fraction. So that is A by S is one term plus B by S plus 2 is the second term. Then we have to cross multiply with here A into S plus 2 plus B into S, so which is equal to 1. So this is equation 1. So first we have to find what is the value of A. To find A, we have to put S is equal to 0. If put S is equal to 0, then B will be 0. Okay. So put S is equal to 0, then A into 0 plus 2, that is A of 2 plus B value is 0 because S is equal to 0 here. So which is equal to 1. Therefore, A of t is equal to 1 here. Okay. So now A is equal to 1/2. So next we have to find what is the value for B. So to find B, we have to make A as 0. So to make A as 0, we have to replace S by -2. Okay. So put S is equal to -2, then A will become 0, and B will be B of -2, which is equal to 1. So B of -2 is equal to 1. B is equal to -1/2. So A is 1/2 and B is -1/2. So now we have to substitute this A and B value in this equation, A by S plus B by S plus 2. So now we'll be getting A as 1/2 into S minus 1/2 into S plus 2. So which is nothing but I of S. So next we have to find I of t, because here the graphical representations are given in terms of in time domain. Therefore, we have to convert into time domain. So to convert into time domain, we have to take the inverse Laplace transform. So here I of s is 1 by 2 into 1 by s minus 1 by s plus 2. So now we have to take inverse Laplace transform, that is I of t. So I of t is equal to 1 by 2 is constant, and for 1 by s, if you take inverse Laplace transform, it is 1 minus, if you take inverse Laplace transform for 1 by s plus 2, it will become e minus 2t. Okay, so e minus 2t into u of t. Okay, that's a constant. So now we got I of t. Now what we have to do is we have to substitute the value from t is equal to 0 to, okay, we have so many response here. Start from t is equal to 0 to here 1 by 2, here 2, here 1 by 2. So we have to start from 0, 1 by 2 and 2. Okay. So now we'll start at t equal to 0. So if t is equal to 0 means then this term e of 0 will become 1, 1 minus 1, it will become 0. Therefore, I of t is equal to 0. Okay. And the next one is at t is equal to 1 by 2. Okay. If you take at t is equal to 1 by 2, so if you have the calculator, you can find what is I of t here. So e minus 2 into 1 by 2. So 2 will be cancelled. So e power minus 1 or 1 minus 1 by e or e power minus 1. Okay. So if you write the value of e power minus 1 and 1, everything will be getting I of t value as 0.31. So now you can able to guess what is the answer. So for 1 by 2, it is 0.31. So just refer the graph here. So for 1 by 2, for C, option C, you have at t is equal to 1 by 2, you will having the I of t value as 0.31. Therefore, option C is going to be the correct answer here. Okay. So anyway, we'll go for t is equal to infinity. So if you take t is equal to infinity, we have to find what is the response. So if you take all the graph here, if you take t is equal to infinity, it should be constant. Everywhere it should be constant. Therefore, if you find t is equal to infinity, we are getting I of t is equal to 0.5. Okay. So if you see option C, t is equal to 1 by 2, and if you take t is equal to infinity, you'll be getting as 0.5. Therefore, the answer is option C. Okay. Let's move on to the next question. For the circuit shown in the figure, the initial conditions are 0. The transfer function h of s is v naught of s divided by va of s is dash. So here the circuit is given. We have to find v naught of s divided by va of s. I think it's a very simple problem. So here we are having 10 kilo ohm and 10 millihenry as one Z1, and here 100 microfarad is Z2. So we have to find what is v naught of s divided by va of s. So 4 options are given, A, B, C, D. Can you guess what is the answer? So you know what is the formula for v naught of s divided by va of s. So v naught of s divided by va of s nothing but, so this impedance divided by the overall the impedance. Okay. Can you guess what is the answer? Yeah, first we'll write what is the first we'll write the capacitance reactance and inductance reactance. So I think we all know that xc is equal to 1 by sc. If we take inductance, it is sc into L. Okay. So now we have to find h of s, that is a transfer function, which is nothing but output voltage divided by input voltage, that is v naught of s divided by va of s. So here v naught of s nothing but voltage across this capacitance. So here it is capacitance, that is 1 by sc. So if you write in s domain, it is 1 by sc. So c value is given, it is 100 microfarad. Okay. So first we'll write the general formula. So 1 by sc whole divided by the overall impedance. So here we are having 10 kilo ohm. Here we are having 10 millihenry, and here we are having 100 microfarad, that is R, L, and C. So therefore, the denominator term is going to be R plus SL plus 1 by SC. Okay. R plus 1 by SC plus SL. So in numerator we are having 1 by SC. In denominator, if you take SC is common, then you will be getting cross multiply SCR plus 1 plus s square LC divided by SC. Okay, so now SC and SC will be cancelled. So therefore, h of s is equal to 1 divided by s square LC plus SCR plus 1. Now we can substitute the value of LC and R here. So L value is given, which is 10 millihenry. Therefore, L value is given, which is 10 millihenry. So therefore 10 into 10 power minus 3, which is 10 power minus 2, into C value is given, which is 100 microfarad. So that is 100 into 10 power minus 6, which will become 10 power minus 4. Okay, so put 10 power minus 4 here, plus S into C and R value, that is 10 power minus 4, and R value is 10 kilo ohm. So 10 into 10 power 3, which will become 10 power 4. Okay, 10 power 4 plus 1. So now we'll rearrange the equation as 1 divided by, so here it is 10 power minus 2, 10 power minus 4, it will become 10 power minus 6. So 10 power minus 6 into S square, plus here it is 10 power minus 4 and 10 power 4, it will be cancelled, therefore S into 1. Okay, therefore it will become S plus 1. So now we have to take 10 power minus 6. We have to take out the 10 power minus 6 from S square. So what we have to do is we have to multiply 10 power 6 from numerator as well as denominator. So if you take 10 power 6 to be multiplied from numerator denominator, then numerator will become 10 power 6. And for denominator, 10 power 6 and 10 power minus 6 will be cancelled. Therefore, S square plus here, if you multiply 10 power 6, you will be getting 10 power 6 into S, plus if you multiply 10 power 6 into 1, it will be giving 10 power 6. Okay. So now the answer is option D. So that is 10 power 6 plus S square plus 10 power 6S plus 10 power 6. Okay. Let's move on to the next question. The minimum number of equation required to analyze the circuit shown in figure is dash. Actually, here the nodal point is not given. Actually, for easy understanding, I am giving the nodal point. Can you guess what is the answer? You can straight away write the answer. Can you guess what is the minimum number of equations required to analyze the circuit? Actually, here the nodal point is not given, so we have to mark the nodal point. So option A, which is given, 3. Option B is 4. Option C is 6. Option D is 7. So can you guess what is the answer? So if you take here, there is a junction. Okay, therefore this is going to be the first nodal point. Okay, so here you are going to have first nodal point, and if you take this here we are having the resistance. Therefore, this is also going to be the one junction. Therefore, we are having second nodal point here. Okay, and if you take the capacitance with the resistance, there will be having one junction. Therefore, here you are going to have one nodal point, and for this capacitor we are having one nodal point. Totally we are having 4 nodal point. So for 4 nodal point, definitely you are going to have 4 number of equations. Okay, so if you take V1 and V2, V3 and V4, so definitely we are going to have 4 equations. Okay, so straight away we can write the answer. The answer for the question is option B, which is 4. Okay. Let's move on to the next question. The dependent current source shown in the figure. The circuit is given. We have to find what is the power delivered. Okay. So option A is given, which is delivers 80 watts. Option B is given, which is absorbs 80 watt. Option C is given, which is delivers 40 watt. And option D is given, which is absorb 40 watt. Okay. Here V1, input voltage is given, which is V1 is equal to 20 volt. So here we are having 2 resistance, 5 ohm, 5 ohm. Here it is a dependent source. So the dependent source value is given as V1 by 5. Okay. So first we have to find what is the voltage at the nodal point. So let the nodal point be V2. Okay, so let us assume the nodal point as V2, and the current flow through the 5 ohm resistances, let it be I. So now we can write KCL equation at nodal point. So if you write KCL equation, we are having 3 junction. So this one is 1, this one is 2nd, and this one is 3rd. So for this one, if you write for KCL, you'll be getting V2 minus V1 divided by I. Okay, so this is V2 minus 1 divided by R value. So R value is given as 5. So if you write for this junction, it is V2 minus V1 divided by 5, and for this junction we will be getting V2 by 5. Okay, this is V2 by 5, and this is V2 minus V1 by 5. So here this is here both are toward the junction, but if you take here, it will be toward the junction. Therefore, we can write as V1 by 5. Okay, here it is an independent source. So dependent source which is given, therefore which is equal to V1 by 5. So now V1 value is given, which is 20 volt. So if you substitute the value of V1 from here and here, you will be getting V1 value as V2 value as 20 volt, which is also equal to the V1 value. Therefore, V1 and V2 both are 20 volt. So now we know the value of V2. Next, we have to find what is the volt, what is the power delivered by the dependent source here. So here it is V2 and here it is V1 by 5. So if you want to find what is the power delivered, here is nothing but the multiplication of V2 into V1 by 5. So V2 value is already found as 20. So 20 into V1 by 5 means V1 is 20. Therefore, 20 into 20 by 5, which is equal to 80 watts. Okay. So now we got the value as 80 watts. So two options are there. One is deliver 80 watts and another one is absorb 80 watts. Okay. So here the dependent source is towards the junction. Therefore, which means that the power is delivered. Okay. So the power is delivered. So therefore, the answer for the question is option A. Okay. Option A, that is delivers 80 watts. Next question. A fully charged mobile phone with a 12 volt battery is good for a 10-minute talk time. Assume that during the talk time, the battery delivers a constant current of 2 amps and its voltage drop linearly from 12 volt to 10 volt as shown in figure. How much energy does the battery deliver during its talk time? Okay, so we have to find what is the energy. So here the mobile phone will have a 12 volt battery. So on this 12 volt battery will have a talk time of maximum of 10 minutes. Okay, the constant and the current will be constant, that is 2 amp, but the voltage drop across the phone will be ranges from 10 volt to 12 volt, 12 volt to 10 volt. So we have to find what is the energy. What is the energy for the during the talk time? So 4 options are given. Option A 220 joules, option B 12 kilojoules, option C is 13.2 kilojoules, option D is 14.4 joules. So first we have to write what is the formula for energy. So E is equal to, that is integration of 0 to T P into dt, where P is the power. Okay, so now we can write P as V into I. So therefore, which is equal to 0 to T. So power can be written as V into I. Therefore, V of T into I of T into dt. So here I of T value is given. So here I of T value is constant current of 2 amps. So therefore, I of T is 2. Therefore, if you write, you will be getting 2 into integration from 0 to T V of T into dt. So now we got to write what is the integration value from 0 to T. So from the graph, we can say that the T value ranges from 0 to 10 minutes. Okay, so here it is given as 0 to 10 minutes. So if you write a minute in seconds, you'll be getting from 0 to 600 seconds. So in terms of second, if you write, you'll be getting 0 to 600 seconds. That is the limit for the overall talk time. So therefore, we can write as 0 to 600 seconds into V of T into D. That is a integration limit. So now V of T. So V of T means this is the integration part. That is a V of T. So V of T is nothing but area under V of T. So this is the area under V of T. So if you look at the diagram here, you can see this one is a first part is going to be a triangle and second part is going to be rectangle. So here we have the combinations of triangle as well as rectangle. So therefore we have to find what is the area of triangle and what is the area of rectangle. So I think everyone know what is the area of triangle formula, that is half into base into height, and we all know what is the formula of rectangle, that is length into breadth. Okay, just you are going to substitute the value here. Okay, so 2 into area of triangle plus area of rectangle, that is the area under V of t. So now area of triangle, if you take area of triangle, the height is 12 volt. If you just refer the diagram here, height is 12 volt and the base is 0 to 10 minutes. 0 to 10 minutes means 600 seconds. Therefore 12 into, sorry, here it is not 12. So here it is 10 and here it is 2. So difference of this value is going to be the height. So 12 minus 10 is going to be 2. So 2 is the height and the base is going to be 0 to 10 minute means 600 seconds. So 1 by 2 into 2 into 600 plus area of rectangle means the length into breadth. So here it is 10. So 10 into 600 seconds. Okay. So now if you multiply and add, finally you will be getting the value as 13,200 joules. So here all the options are given in terms of here we refer the option C. It is in given as kilojoules. Therefore we can write as 13.2 into kilojoules. Okay. So the answer for the question is option C, which is 13.2 kilojoules. Let's move on to the next question. Yeah, 12 1 ohm resistance are used as edge to form a cube. Okay, the resistance between two diagonally opposite corner of the cube is dash. Okay, so actually there is 12 1 ohm resistance are there. So all the resistance are connected at the edges of the cube. So what we have to find is what is the resistance between two diagonally opposite corner of the cube. Okay, 4 options are given. Option A is 5 by 6, option B is 1 ohm, option C is 5 by 6, 6 by 5, and option D is 3 by 2 ohm. Can you guess what is the answer? Yeah, first we have to draw the cube. This is the cube. Try to understand here. So this is a cube. So this is the edges of all cubes. Okay. So if you in this cube, we have to let us consider this one as one. So this edges, and if you take these edges, so these two edges are the opposite diagonals. If you take these edges, that is 1. Okay, so 1 and 2, which is at the bottom. So if you take this 1 and 2, these two are the opposite diagonal. Actually, we have to find what is the resistance between two diagonally opposite corner. Okay, so this one is at the top of the edge, and this 2, so which is marked as 2, which is at the bottom of corner. So if you consider 1 and 2, that is going to be the opposite diagonal. So we have to find what is the resistance between the two opposite diagonal corner of the cube. So let us consider let V be the input voltage which is applied to the cube. So one is connected to this is the first corner, let it be 1, and the other terminal is connected to the second one. So we have to find what is the resistance between two diagonals corner of the cube. So now let us I be the current flow through the branch 1. So let I be the current flow through the point 1, that is a corner 1. So here, from here, now the current will be splitted into 3 branches. So if you see the junction here, up to here it is current is I. So now from here it will be divided into 3 branches. Therefore now the current will be nothing but the divided by 3. So therefore the current flow through here is I by 3, and current flow will be divided by current flow through here is I by 3. and current flow here is I by 3. Now, if you take this I by 3 here, so now this I by 3 is now again divided into two branches. So if you again take half of I by 3, now the current flow from here and here is going to be I by 6, which is half of I by 3. Okay, from up to here it is I by 3. So in this junction we are having two division of branches. Therefore, the current flow through to this division of branches is nothing but half of I by 3. Therefore, here I by 6 and I by 6. Okay. Similarly, if you take here, so here it will be I by 3. If you take here this junction, here it will be divided into two branches. Therefore, the current flow through these branches I by 6 and I by 6. Similarly, if you take this one, here it is I by 3, and if you take this junction, it will be I by 6 and I by 6. Okay. So now what we need is what is the current flow through the point 2. That is very important because we have to find, we are going to consider this loop. Okay, this is a branch loop. So we have to find what is the resistance here. Okay. So now we need what is the current flow through the point 2. So here it is I by 6, here it is I by 6. Okay. So now what is current flow here is, which is nothing but here it is toward the junction, and here also it is toward the junction. Therefore, the current flow through the uh, here is nothing but I by 6 plus I by 6. So I by 6 plus I by 6 is going to be I by 3. So I by 3 is the current flow towards the second corner. So now we are going to consider this one as a closed loop. Let us see. So start from 1. So 1, 3, 4, 2. So try to understand. So the closed loop path is 1. Start from here. So we have to find what is the current. We are going to apply the Kirchhoff voltage law here. So for Kirchhoff voltage law, we have to consider the closed loop path. So start from first corner, then third corner. See, just see my cursor here. 1, so 3, then 4 and 2. So after this 2, 1. So that is going to be the one closed loop. So now we are going to apply KVL here. Okay, so now we have to apply KVL through the path 1, 3, 4, 2. So in 1 already we have the current as I by 3. So V is equal to I into R. So current is I by 3. Resistance value is generally all the resistance are R. Already it is given as 1 ohm. So that's not a problem. If you straight away we can write R value as 1, or we can write as R. Okay. So I by 3 into R is the voltage in 1 plus now refer 3. So we have written voltage at the corner point 1. Now we have tried for 3. So 3 it is I by 6. Okay, so I by 6 into R, and for 4, that is 4 to 2. This is I by 3 into R. So now we can take I as common. Therefore, R by 3 plus R by 6 plus R by 3. So now V by I, which is equal to R. So we can take I here. So if we take I to here, then it will become V by I. So V by I is equal to R, which is equal to 2R by 6 plus R by 6 plus 2R by 6. If you take 6 as common, means 2R by 6 plus R by 6 plus 2R by 6. So which is equal to 5 by 6 R ohm. Okay, so now R value is already given in the question itself. It is 1 ohm. So if R is equal to 1 means, therefore the overall resistance R is equal to 5 by 6. So the answer for the question is option A. Okay, 5 by 6 ohm. Let's move on to the next question. It's a simple question. The current I4 in the circuit of the figure is equal to dash. Okay. Option 4 options are given. A is 12 amps, B is minus 12 amps, C is 4 amps, D is none. So we have to find what is current I4. Okay. Can you guess what is the answer for the question? So many of you are saying option A, but actually option A is not the correct answer. So very simple question. Just you are going to apply KCL here. One second. Yeah. So we have to apply KCL here. So first this is a actually given circuit. So first let us assume the node here. So let the node here is A and here and here. So everything is going to assume. So let it be A, B, and C, B, E, and this one is F. Okay. So now first we have to find what is at KCL at node A. Okay. So first we will find out, because we have to find I value. So if you know I value, then we can find I4. So first we got to find what is I value. So if you take at node A, if you apply KCL, here it is toward the junction, here it is away from the junction, here it is away from the junction. Therefore, I is equal to, so the current which is flow toward the junction is equal to current which is flow away from the junction. Therefore, I is equal to I0 plus I1. So I0 and I1 is 7 and 5. Therefore, I value is 12 amps. Okay, so now we got I value. Next, we have to find what is I4. So for I4, if you take at node F, so at node F, we have the KCL equation as this is away from junction, this is also away from junction. Therefore, I4 is equal to, sorry, I4 plus I is equal to 0. So both are away from the junction. Therefore, I4 plus I is equal to 0, or we can write I4 is equal to minus I. So I value is already found as 12. Therefore, I4 is equal to minus 12 amps. It's a very simple question. Just you are going to apply KCL. So if you apply KCL, you can find first I. After that, we can find I4. Okay. So the answer for the question is option B, which is minus 12 amps. Let's move on to the next question. The voltage V in the figure equal to dash. So circuit is given. So we have to find what is the voltage here. So 4 options are given. A is 3 volt, B is minus 3 volt, C is 5 volt, D none of these. Can you guess what is the answer? I think it is simple question. So here already 3 voltage sources are given, 5 volt, 4 volt, and 4 volt is given. So we have to find what is the voltage across a 3 ohm resistance. Can you guess what is the answer? So first we have to know what is the voltage across 2 ohm resistance. That is important. Okay. So first here, if you know, so only if you know what is the voltage across 2 ohm resistance, then we can able to find what is the voltage across this 3 ohm resistance. So here it is 4 volts. So this 4 volt is going to be the voltage at this 2 ohm resistance. Okay. So therefore this 4 volt is going to be the voltage across 2 ohm resistance. So therefore here also you are going to have 4 volts. So here it is minus to plus, and here also it is minus to plus. Therefore, at the corner you are going to have 8 volt. Just see the diagram here. Okay. So here it is 2 ohm resistance. Here it is 4 volts. So this 4 volt is going to be the voltage here. So therefore here also 4 volt. So this 4 volt and this 4 volt. So this is also from minus to plus. This is also minus to plus. Therefore here it is going to be 8 volt. So already here it is given as 5 volt. So here it is from minus to plus. Here it is from plus to minus. Just see the symbols. Here it is minus to plus. Here it is plus to minus. Therefore here it is going to be the positive, and here it is going to be negative. Therefore 8 volt minus 5 volt. That is going to be the voltage at this junction. So therefore 8 minus 5, which is going to be 3. So that 3 is going to be the voltage at the 3 ohm resistance. So very simple. Just one more time I will explain you. So here it is 4 volt. So this 4 volt is going to be the voltage at this 2 ohm resistance. Okay. So here also you are going to have 4 volt. So just see the voltage source. It is minus to plus. Therefore here also it is going to be minus to plus. Here also it is minus to plus. Therefore this 4 volt is going to be here also, that is 4 volt. So here also minus to plus. So minus to plus means both voltage sources have to be added. So 4 plus 4, it is going to be 8. Okay. So after 8 volt, so here also it is minus to plus, but here it is plus to minus. Therefore 8 minus 5, that is going to be 3 volt here. So this 3 volt is going to be the voltage at this 3 ohm resistance. So the answer is 3 volt, option A. Okay, so many of you are saying correct answer. The next question, I think we still have 3 more problem. In the circuit of the figure, the value of the voltage source E is dash. So very simple question. So we have to find what is the voltage E. So 4 options are given. A is minus 16, B is 4, C is minus 6, D is 16 volt. Can you guess what is the answer? Option A is minus 16, B is 4, C is minus 16, D is 16 volt. Okay, so you have to find what is E. So we have so many path. If you start from here, so it will be from, if you follow, if you take this one, then you can able to find. So this path, this is one of the path. If you take this one, so this will be one of the paths. So many path you can use. But if you take, okay, if you take this one, here all the values are given. If you take this one, so here V2 value is not given, so V1 value is also not given. If you choose this path, V1 V2 value is not given. Similarly, if you choose this path, V2 value is not given. If you choose actually you have 2 options. One is if you choose this path, V1 V2 is not given. If you choose this path, then V2 value is not given. But if you choose from this path, so from 10 volt to 0 volt, if you choose from 10 volt to 0 volt, here all the values are known value. The only value is E. Okay, so just see, this is the one of the path we are going to find. So here it is 10. Okay, here it is minus to plus. Minus to plus means you are going to add 10 with 5. So 10 plus 5, and here also minus to plus, therefore plus E, and here also minus to plus, therefore plus 1, which is equal to 0 volt. So here it is given as 0 volt. Okay, so now E is equal to 16. E plus 16 is equal to 0, therefore E is equal to minus 16. So the answer for the question is option A, which is minus 16 volt. Let's move on to the next question. The voltage V in the figure is dash. So can you guess what is the answer? Very simple. It will take only a second to answer the question. So very simple question. So simply the voltage is going to be the voltage of 10 volts. So no need to derive anything. So we have to find what is the voltage here. So this voltage is going to be the voltage at this source. So here it is 10 volt. Therefore V is equal to 10 volt. Okay, so no need to derive anything. In a second we can answer the question. So answer is 10 volt. Okay, let's move on to the next question. In the circuit of the figure, is the energy absorbed by the 4 ohm resistor in the time interval 0 to infinity is dash. Okay, so you have to find what is the energy absorbed. So circuit is given. Here it is 10 volt. Here are having 4 ohm resistance. Here the capacitor value is 2 farad, and the voltage across the capacitor at time 0 is given as 6 volt. Okay, so you have to find what is the energy absorbed during the interval from 0 to infinity. So during 0 to infinity, what is the energy absorbed by the 4 ohm resistance we have to find. That is V suffix R we have to find. So first we have to find what is the voltage across capacitor. If you know what is the voltage across capacitor, then we can easily find what is the voltage across resistor. If you know what is the voltage across resistor, then you can easily able to find what is the energy absorbed by the 4 ohm resistance. Okay, so first we have to find voltage across capacitor. We know this is a general formula. So Vc of t is equal to Vc of infinity plus Vc of 0 minus Vc of infinity into e power minus t divided by Rc. This is a general formula for the voltage across the capacitor. So now here it is given. So during Vc of infinity, so Vc of infinity means the capacitor is going to be, for Vc of 0 it is given as 6 volt. Okay, So for VC of infinity, the value of the capacitor is going to be 10 volt, because so at infinity what will happen? So actually VC of 0 is given, which is 6 volt. So at infinity what will happen to the capacitor is the capacitor will be like open circuit. So open circuit means here already the value is given as 10 volt. Therefore the voltage which is belong to the capacitor is going to be the 10 volt. Therefore VC of infinity is 10 volt. So VC of 0, which is already given, which is 6 volt. Okay, so now we are going to substitute the value here. So VC of infinity is 10 volt and VC of 0 is 6 volt. Thus VC of t is equal to VC of infinity is 10. So put 10 here, plus VC of 0 is given, which is 6, minus VC of infinity is 10 into e power minus t divided by RC. So if you rewrite the equation, you will be getting 10 minus 4 into e power minus t by R into C. So R value is given, which is 4 ohm. C value is given, which is 2 farad. Therefore, in denominator we are going to have 8 e power minus t by 8. So now we got VC of t. So next we have to find what is the voltage across resistance. So VR of t is nothing but the difference of voltage between, that is 10 minus VC of t is going to be the voltage across 4 ohm resistance. Okay. So therefore VR of t is nothing but 10 minus VC of t. So 10 minus, okay, so 10 minus 4 into e power minus t by 8. Okay, so 10 and 10 will cancel. Therefore you will be getting 4 into e power minus t by RC, or 4 into e power minus t by 8. So both are same only. Okay, so now we have to find what is the energy absorbed during the interval from 0 to infinity. So the formula is E is equal to 0 to infinity, which is equal to P into dt. So instead of P, we can write as V into I. So instead of I, we can write V by R. Therefore, the overall equation is V square R divided by R. So VR of t is already found as 4 e power minus t by RC. So therefore, if you square this value, you will be getting 16 into e power minus t divided by already we are having 8. So 8 divided by 2, it will become 4 here. Okay. So 16 into 8 e power minus t divided by 4 whole divided by R value is given, which is 4. Okay, therefore 4 here. So 4 and 16 will be cancelled. Therefore 4 into e power minus t by 4. Therefore okay, sorry. So if you take from 0 to infinity, if you integrate from 4 into e power minus t 4, so the answer is going to be 16 joules. Let's move on to the last question. In the circuit zone, VC is 0 volt at t is equal to 0 seconds. For t greater than 0, the capacitor current IC of t, where t is in second, is given by dash. So we have to find what is IC of t here. Here circuit is given. So 4 options are given, A, B, C, D. So we have to find what is the correct answer. So first we have to write what is current flow through the capacitor. So this is current, this is IC, which is current flow through the capacitor. VC is the voltage across the capacitor. So IC is equal to, we know the formula, I of C is equal to C into dV by dt. So therefore here it become C into dVC by dt. Okay. So now we know the formula for, so now we have to find what is VC of t. If you know VC of t, then we can substitute that value in this equation. So finally we can easily get I of C. Okay. So we know that VC of t is general formulas. VC of infinity plus VC of 0 into VC of infinity into e power minus t by tau. So VC of 0. So VC of 0 is initially, it is going to be the capacitor. VC of 0, the initial value of capacitor is going to be 0 volt. Therefore, we can simply write VC of 0 value as 0 volt. Now, what about VC of infinity? So at infinity, what will happen? The capacitor will be open circuit. Okay. So now this is a rearranged diagram. The capacitor is open circuit. So now VC of infinity is nothing but we are going to apply voltage divider formula. Okay. So you have to apply voltage divider formula. So voltage divider formula is R2 divided by R1 plus R2 into opposite, that is a voltage is 10 volt. Okay. So R2 value is 20K, R1 value is 20K. So if you substitute this value, you'll be getting the VC of infinity value as 5 volt. Okay, so now we got VC of infinity, and the next we have to find what is tau. So tau is nothing but time constant RC. So here R equivalent. So R equivalent we have to find. So tau is nothing but R equivalent in C equivalent. So here these two resistance are in parallel. Therefore, so if you take 20 kilo ohm and 20 kilo ohm, both are parallel. So if you write formula, you will be getting total equal resistance value as 10. Okay. So now C value is already given. So 10K into C equivalent. Okay. So tau is equal to 10 into 10 power 3 plus C value is given, which is 4 microfarad, 4 into 10 power minus 6. Tau is equal to 40 into 10 power minus 3 seconds. So now we got tau, and we know VC of infinity, and now we know VC of 0. Just you are going to substitute all three terms in VC of t formula. Okay. So if you substitute, you will be getting 5 plus 0 minus 5 into e power minus t by tau. So which is equal to 5 minus 5 into e power minus t by 40 into 10 power minus 3. So you can take 5 common. So if you take 5 common, you'll be getting 1 minus e power minus 25t. Okay. So now we got VC of t. Next we have to find differentiation of VC of t. So if you differentiate this one, you'll be getting, so first one is a constant term, so therefore it will become 0. Second one is minus 5 into, if you differentiate e power minus 25t, you will be getting another e power minus 25t into minus 25. So now 25 will be multiplied, minus and minus will become plus, therefore 125 into e power minus 25t. So now we got dVc of t divided by dt. So now we have to substitute this value in equation 1. We already have the equation 1, which is I of C is equal to C into dVc by dt. So C value is 4 10 power minus 6, and dVc dt value is d125 into e power minus 25t. So just you are going to multiply. If you multiply, you will be getting 500 into 10 power minus 6 into e power minus 25ta. Okay. So now if you write here, so we have answer. If you take answer here, all the answers are in terms of milliamps. So here we have in amps. So if you write in milliamps, you'll be getting 0.5 e power minus 25t into milliamps. So the answer for the question is option A, is 0.50 into e power minus 25t milliamps. Let's move on to the last question. Okay. The voltage VC1, VC2, VC3 across the capacitor in the circuit in the given figure under steady state or respectively dash. Okay, under steady state means that is at infinity what will happen. Okay, so under steady state, what is the voltage across VC1, VC2 and VC3 we have to find. Okay. So in steady state, what will happen to all the capacitor? It is open circuit. So steady state means VC of infinity. So at VC of infinity, the capacitor is nothing but open circuit. So what will happen to the inductor? The inductor will become short circuit. So at time t is equal to infinity, the voltage that is the capacitor will be open circuit and the inductor will be short circuit. So if you redraw the diagram, you'll be getting that here it is inductor, so it is short circuit. Here it is inductor, it is short circuit. So this is capacitor, it is open circuit. Here we have the capacitor, it is open circuit. Here also we are having the capacitor, that is open circuit. Okay, so this is the rearranged diagram. So now first we have to find what is the voltage across capacitor C1. Okay, so here we have to find VC1. So to find VC1, so we have to apply the voltage divider formula. So here we have 10 kilo ohm, here we have 40 kilo ohm, here 100 volt. So the opposite here, the voltage is 100 volt, therefore 100 divided by the summation of two resistances 10 plus 40 into opposite resistance is 40. So therefore it is equal to 80 volt. That is voltage across C1. So now we got VC1 value. So now next we have to find what is VC2 and VC3. So now we can rearrange the diagram as, so VC1 value is 80 volt. So here we got value as 80 volt. Just put 80 volt. And here VC2 and VC3 both are open circuit. So anyway, just put C2 and C3 here. Okay, C2 and C3. So this is the rearranged diagram. So with this rearranged diagram, we have to find what is VC2 and VC3. Okay. So very simple. To find VC2, we have to apply the formula here. So VC2 is nothing but what is the voltage here is 80 volt. So 80 into the opposite element is C2. So C2 divided by the overall elements is C2 plus C3. So C2, C3, all the values are given. If you substitute this value, you'll be getting the VC2 value as 48 volt. Similarly, we have to find what is for VC3. So for VC3, the voltage source here is 80. So 80 into the opposite here is capacitance C2 whole divided by the summation of two capacitors, that is C2 plus C3. So C2, C3, all the values are given. So if you multiply, you'll be getting the value of VC3 as 32 volt. So we got VC1 as 80 volt, VC2 as 48, VC3 is 32. Therefore, the answer for the question is option B, which is 80, 48, and 32. Okay. Okay. So thank you, participant, for listening session. So if you have any queries, please you can post your queries to our mail ID, which is sttpece2020@gmail.com. So once again, thank you for all the participants. So now the feedback link is posted in the chat box. Participant can fill the feedback form. Don't share this feedback form. The link will be active till 1 hour only, till 1 p.m. So try to fill the feedback form properly. Name, mail ID, it's very important. So we'll upload all the videos of module 4 by today or by tomorrow. So you can be able to see the videos in our YouTube channel.